The global citizens, welcome to another episode of Dr. Fajembola'S Opinion. Today, I have a senior colleague on board, and I'm glad we will discuss extensively on ananas sativa and moringa. Moringa is a very common, widely used plant in Nigeria and in Africa, not just even in Africa, globally, but we are going to discuss the nitty-gritty of what you should know, the basics of what you should know as a global citizen on moringa and ananas sativa, which is known as pineapple. Please join me to welcome Dr. Olufemi Mulkah Ajagun-Ogunleye. Welcome on board, ma. Good day, doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much for honoring the invite and sparing your time to share your knowledge and expertise with us. Before we dive into the discussion, let's go through the biography of our guest researcher. Dr. Olufemi is a visionary researcher and lecturer in medical biochemistry at the Lagos State University College of Medicine, Ikeja, Lagos. She's an EmpowerHER Health Research Fellow at Women in Global Health Nigeria. Our dynamic portfolio spans nutrition, neuroscience, women's health, maternal and child health, and LDAGN, interwoven by an unwavering passion for health equity and translational science that uplifts communities. With academic roots in pure and applied chemistry from LAUTECH, Ogbomoso, followed by a master's degree in biochemistry from UNILAG, Lagos, and a PhD degree from Kampala International University, Uganda. Dr. Ajagun-Ogunleye brings precision, curiosity, and compassion to every facet of our work. As a devoted mentor, Dr. Ajagun-Ogunleye leads a thriving postgraduate research of nurturing the next generation of scientists and with the skills and confidence to challenge convention and drive solutions. She is particularly passionate about the role of nutrition in brain function and aging, exploring how diet influences learning, memory, and long-term cognitive resilience. Whether she is teaching biomedical sciences, mentoring future leaders, conducting impactful research, or pioneering inclusive healthcare strategies, she stands as a beacon of progress, reshaping possibilities, and empowering people one discovery at a time. Outside academics and research, she's a passionate family woman. Thank you so much once again for joining us, Dr. Ajagun. I'm glad to hear that you got your PhD from Kampala International University. Actually, I also got my undergraduate degree from Uganda, and I lived around the environment of Kampala International University for a while. So thank you so much for being on board, and colleagues from Uganda, if you are watching this, I hope you know Dr. Ajagun. If you don't know her, she got a PhD from Kampala International University. Now diving deeper into the discussion, Dr. Ajagun, let's look at what people are saying about pineapple, which is the ananas sativa, and also moringa. The first tweet I have is from this Cough School, where she said, I ate 4 slices of pineapple for breakfast. Good luck finding my waist. I don't know. This is when I read this tweet. I realized the same people are using pineapple for weight loss. So the second tweet is from Itiamat George William, where he or she said there is still a lot that can be done to change the nutrition situation in the world, especially if we all agree to use nature in a more meaningful way. Moringa, for example, provides almost 80% of our body's nutritional needs. It only remains underexplored. The last tweet, also on moringa, from RBDD 2023, is a farmer. That's why I got the tweet. He said, on the occasion of World Food Day, I don't know, it seems today is World Food Day, or World Food Day is around the corner, something like that. at Grassroots Moringa Farmers Development Association. So there is a Moringa Farmers Development Association. We extend our appreciation to farmers for their tireless efforts in providing food for their communities, often in the face of significant challenges. So it's beautiful to see the farmers are being celebrated on World Food Day, especially to their contribution on plants like Moringa and the rest. So, Doctor, your paper is on evaluation of the anti-aging and antioxidant action of Ananas sativa, which is pineapple, and Moringa oleifera in a fruit fly model organism. I have I study biology, chemistry, and the rest, but reading your paper refreshed my memory on what I did in secondary school and also in the early years of medical school. So I want to mention that the anti-aging industry, reading your paper made me appreciate, although I appreciated, but it made me appreciate more the anti-aging industry and what resources we have around us that can be used instead of the chemicals and sort of it that many people are going to like prevent aging. And we know that aging is a complex phenomenon influenced by many biochemical pathways, genetic traits, environmental factors, and lifestyle. One funny thing when I was reading your paper is I discovered it seems, doctor, you like, and I'm just trying to crack it. It seems you like cocktail, because in every paragraph there is almost a cocktail that comes up. I'm like, wow. It seems when I finish reading this paper, I'll be hungry because pineapple is coming up, cocktail is coming up. So and I appreciate the use of the words because it shows that okay, we're talking about food, and in discussions, the right words should be used. So the first question, doctor, you used ananas sativa. The topic of discussion today is ananas sativa, which is pineapple, and also Moringa oleifera. What is special about these plants? Which plants are these?
Yeah, thank you very much for the generous introduction and the talk around it. Yeah, ananas sativa is, that is the botanical name for pineapple. In Yoruba, we call it Ope Oyinbo. So it is a highly nutritious exotic fruit. Okay, and my main focus, the main reason why I chose ananas out of all the fruits was the availability then. Then in Uganda, it was the second most abundant fruit. They have a lot of fruits. So its availability and also the nutritional components in it, okay? It is a fruit that is very rich in antioxidants. Apart from that, it has a very special compound called bromelain. Bromelain is an anti-inflammatory compound and it has healing properties. So, we need to do a deep dive into the science around pineapple. But people know that they are not just consuming it for pleasure, you're also consuming it for the health benefits. And the word cocktail is the combination of the nutrients in it. Okay, the same thing with Moringa oleifera. That's the botanical name. In English, it's just called the drumstick tree or the miracle tree. Okay, in Yoruba, it is called Ewe Igbale. Okay, so in fact, it is a nutrient-dense plant. As tiny as it is, it has all the essential amino acids, rich in antioxidants, and most especially, it has anti-inflammatory properties as well. Okay, and people consume it, for health benefits, but they don't really know if it's having anti-aging effect or not. So that's why I chose it as the second plant to research into. It's because of their nutrient-dense properties.
Thank you so much, doctor, for that elaborate introduction into our discussion. Let me put it that way. We are talking about ananas sativa, and I agree with you as someone who stayed in Uganda. I agree with you. Pineapple is one of the abundant fruits in Uganda. I also agree with you that Moringa is a nutrient-dense plant, and that's why it's widely studied in Africa and outside Africa. So, Doctor, I would like to know, in the paper, you and the co-author discussed reactive oxygen species. As someone in health, have an idea what you're talking about. People outside the field of science and the field of health, what should they know about the reactive oxygen species?
Yeah, in simple terms, reactive oxygen species are molecules. They are tiny, tiny molecules produced in the cell. Okay, they are inevitable byproduct of metabolism. Metabolism is just, when we eat food, it's being broken down to give us energy. So during the breakdown of food that we eat, as we produce energy, there are some byproducts that are inevitably produced. Reactive oxygen species is one of them. There are so many factors that bring about the production of reactive oxygen species. We could also get them from environmental assaults. Okay, our body tends to respond to assault from the environment and bring about reactive oxygen species. So too much of it in the body is what is not good. Ordinarily, we have a defense mechanism. Within us, we have antioxidant defense system. Nature is so good, always trying to balance things up. No matter how much your reactive oxygen species, we have inbuilt antioxidant defense system that is always neutralizing the effect. But when reactive oxygen becomes too much, that is when they cause damage to cells, because they attack proteins, they attack DNA, they bring about damage to cells, and as such, they bring about premature aging, and they predispose people to diseases. Yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor, for the explanation. I believe our audience now understand the difference between the oxygen we breathe and reactive oxygen species. So when you go out or when you see someone discussing reactive oxygen species, you will not say, oh, they don't have oxygen, let's go and buy oxygen for them or something like that. You know that they are two different things. So, Doctor, what are 3 things you want us to know about the growth hormone on anti-aging? Because I from the paper, you and the author, your co-author discussed on it. What should we know about the growth hormone on anti-aging?
Yeah. Growth hormone itself, okay, it is produced from the pituitary gland, and it helps us to, it promotes growth naturally. It contributes immensely to anti-aging in the sense that it is able to have this it reduces inflammation. Okay, so how it is linked to anti-aging is that that it promotes metabolism. Okay, so it tends to decline with age. Just like all other hormones, it declines with age. And it is highly essential for, it helps us to have energy. It controls metabolism. So it promotes energy, skin elasticity, okay? And it helps with muscle mass. So because of those characteristics, people now use it as a form of therapy, okay? They use it as a form of therapy. Science has grown. Once you know the function of a particular thing, we can manufacture it in the lab. So we now have what is called human growth hormone, which is being administered to people just to delay aging. So it is used for anti-aging on one side. On another side, it is used for treating health issues. For example, HIV patients, they have a lot of loss of muscle mass. So they administer growth hormone to them to help them recover their muscle mass, to bring back their skin elasticity and give them strength and energy. However, just like every synthetic thing, it has its side effects. So because of that, there are ways by which you can produce it naturally, okay, which is what we are advocating for now. Instead of using the synthetic one, which has side effects, although it can be used to cure diseases and so on and so forth. You can get your growth hormone, you can boost it through high intensity exercise, through exercising, okay? It will boost your growth hormone. Enough sleep, getting enough sleep. And which other one? Yeah, there are 3 of them. So these are nutrients. Nutrients. There are some nutrients that help you boost your growth hormone. Nutrients like minerals and vitamins. And there are some, your seeds and nuts, your fruits and veggies. They have this ability of giving you the ability to boost your growth hormone. In the process, delaying the onset of aging.
Thank you so much for teaching us the benefits of the growth hormone on anti-aging, and for those who take growth hormone, because just like every drug or every synthetic drug, you said some people use it moderately the way it should be used, some people abuse it. So I feel anyone listening to this now, they know the effects of the growth hormone on their body. Doctor, you mentioned from the paper, now quoting the discussion from the paper, where you said the biochemical pathways involved in the aging process are highly influenced by exogenous, the environmental factors, and endogenous stress factors. What are the endogenous and exogenous factors?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Aging the pathway of aging is highly influenced by exogenous and endogenous stress factors. The exogenous stress factors are those things that could bring about increase in reactive oxygen species in the body. And they are what? They are UV radiation from the sun, pollutants from the atmosphere. We are exposed to a lot of fumes here and there, generator fumes here and there, automobile fumes, toxins from the environment, industrial waste, all this, even poor diet is anything that is from outside of an organism that is affecting the rapid production of reactive oxygen species. And the implication of having too much of reactive oxygen species, it leads to accelerated aging because it attacks the cells. That is exogenous. Now, the endogenous stress factors are those ones that are produced from within an organism, within a person. Example, we have inflammation. Inflammation is an endogenous stress factor. Inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction happening inside. Hormonal imbalance, an imbalance in hormone. All these things disrupt the homeostasis of reactive oxygen species inside the cell. Okay? So these are endogenous stress factors, and they all lead to accelerated aging if not controlled.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that. Actually, recently I was seeing on my social media, like, my glow has increased because I have reduced stress, factors, both, especially externally. And people often dismiss stress factors, and they're like, and how will I put it, in terms of mental health, and take care of themselves. All this contributes to how your total outcome as an individual. And one thing with health, when people talk about health, people start thinking of maybe the liver, the spleen. It starts from the skin. And one thing is, yes, exactly, it starts from the skin. Whatever you eat, it shows on the skin. It's not by applying 10 products on your face. When you are not stressed, when you are eating well, when you're exercising, you will look good. And even with or without makeup. So another point I want to point out for our audience is, we mentioned endogenous and exogenous. And I want a situation whereby, when after listening to this, and if they hear the word endogenous anywhere, they know what it is, or exogenous, they know what it is. And one way, as a medical student, one of the things that help me is mnemonics, exogenous, endogenous, inside from the spelling N, inside the body, exogenous, out, exo, out. So this, the next time you come across the word exogenous, you just know it has to do with exo, out, the factors that lead to anti-aging, external factors. Then endogenous, inside the body, what leads to contributes to aging from inside your body as a human. So I believe with what Dr. Olufemi has explained extensively, we know what she's talking about, and it sticks to our memory, and we utilize it for ourselves. Dr. Olufemi, to the next question. what Japan was one. I've asked you about, we've talked about the growth hormone and anti-aging. Then let's move to another quote from your paper where you said Japan was one of the highest numbers, as one of the highest numbers of LDH population in the world due to healthy lifestyle, good nutrition, and physical activities. I was expecting to see genetics, or maybe you discussed, or maybe I missed it. Where does genetics come in?
Yeah, while I was doing my studies, okay, one of my preliminary investigation were to look at the healthy aging people, the communication with the people that live long, the centenarians, where do they come from, and what do they do? What are they doing that makes them to live long? Just like you said, Japan is one of the longest living people, as in living nations in the world, and basically their longevity has been attributed basically to their lifestyle, their dietary patterns, their social interaction. And of course, where genetics comes in, they are gene, aging itself has a lot of things associated with it. Okay, we have aging. This is aging. We have genetic factors. We have environmental factors. We have nutrient sensing pathways. Nutrients influences aging. Even inflammation pathway, a lot of pathways, a lot of things affect aging. Okay, research has shown that assault of any of these factors or manipulation of any would also affect aging, irrespective of the gene. Okay, the Japanese, they have this gene that helps them to have resistance to certain diseases. Okay, so they're able to resist, coming down with diseases like metabolic syndrome, because they have the gene that helps them to reduce inflammation. These are underlying factors of aging. Apart from their gene, they also have the gene to, they have this resilience in them, ordinary. You can see they are old men, the way they are still very active with their martial arts and all that. It's in their gene, right? However, research has shown that it is only 1/3 of longevity that is influenced by genetics. Okay, yes. Okay. The 2/3 is influenced by dietary choices, lifestyle, and environmental influence. So despite the fact that gene is there, but their dietary choices, their lifestyle, and environmental factors are one of those major factors that bring about them to live longer than any other person. In fact, their life expectancy is 84 years, as in they've just started life. Okay, unlike Nigeria here, you know what our life expectancy is. You can go search for it, around 60 or something like that. So meaning that
57.
Maybe. Yeah. So we need to double up on our, we need to start living a life that will help us, irrespective of whatever gene you have. You still have that ability to stay healthy and live longer with your dietary choices. Okay. I even have another research I did recently. It's on people carrying the gene for dementia, apolipoprotein. Okay. Yeah. They have the gene, okay, such that when they grow older, they might come down with dementia. Okay. However, that dietary choices could help suppress the effects of that gene. Lifestyle could suppress such that it will not express itself. Another study, if you've heard about, it's a very popular study. Identical twins were separated when they were young. Okay, identical twins. One was raised in the, so-called rural area. The other one was taken to the urban. Yes. At the end of the day, the one in the city came down with metabolic disorders, metabolic syndrome, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes. Okay, because of change in lifestyle. The one in the village, so-called village, grew healthier. They didn't come down with all those metabolic syndrome. So that's another evidence that gene could be there, but your lifestyle, environment, dietary choices could shape your health and aging. Thank you.
Thank you so much for highlighting the effects of genetics on anti-aging. And for people who think, oh, let me go and marry Japanese so I will live long, or let me go and live in Japan so I will live long, it has more to do with environment and
we
what
can emulate them.
than doing that. You know, some people, they want to cheat nature. I'm like, oh, let me go and marry Japanese, or let me go and live in Japan. And when I was reading your paper and I came across that, actually I was smiling because a few weeks ago I just read that Japan has over 100,000 people above the age of 100 years, something like that.
Sure.
Japan has 100,000 people. I'm sure
The
it's Japan.
centenarians, they are there.
Yes, above 100 years. So that's very beautiful and that's high. So
Yeah.
I believe those are things we can emulate as humans. Whatever is good from a nation or from a region, we can emulate it. Not just the bad part of corruption and the rest. We can emulate the good parts of health into our lives. So thanks so much for that, Dr. Olufemi. From also the paper, another quote from your paper is, in quotes, it is also a rich source of health promoting cocktail of antioxidants. And we're talking about ananas sativa being a rich source of health promoting cocktail of antioxidants. What other fruits have these characteristics? Or should we just be eating only pineapple because we want to get the antioxidants?
Oh, yeah, you are perfectly correct. There are so many other fruits with this similar characteristics as pineapple. It is not only pineapple. In fact, most other fruits. In fact, what really inspired me to this study was the development of resveratrol. Resveratrol is an anti-aging supplement that was obtained from grapefruits. Okay, so in Nigeria, yeah, grapefruits. So we have other fruits with such nutrients and antioxidant properties. All berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberry, all the berries, they are very rich in anthocyanins and all these antioxidants we are talking about. Even our citrus fruits, orange, lime, lemon, tangerine, all those citrus, they are also rich in antioxidants. Flavonoids, they have it as well. So all our brightly colored fruits are also rich. Okay, so we can have a rainbow of fruits and eat different varieties to maximize the benefits of the nutrients. So we have all of that. However, pineapple, I told you, pineapple was my choice because of the availability.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for highlighting that. That's what I wanted you to say because after this discussion, people will be reading the paper who want to know more about ananas sativa and moringa. And maybe like, okay, should we be eating only pineapple more? So you know that other fruits have antioxidant properties and not just pineapple. Don't binge on only pineapple. And like one of the tweets we read at the beginning where someone was like, he or she ate pineapple for breakfast and they're expecting weight loss. So that's an example of being in the paper you talked about dietary restriction. Is there any difference between dietary restriction and fasting?
Oh, sure. Dietary restriction, from the word dietary restriction, you are reducing the intake of calories, okay? You are reducing the intakes of some food that are high in calorie. It is actually a reduction in calories without malnutrition, okay? You are going to be eating fine, but you are cutting out on some foods. For example, high carbohydrate diets, some dairy products. If you're not comfortable with gluten, some people react to gluten, they cut it out. Okay, so they reduce the intake of specific foods for health benefits, okay? And it is usually a long-term thing to maximize the benefits. It is different from fasting. Fasting, on the other hand, is complete abstinence from food and drink for a period of time, okay? So in dietary restriction, you are still eating healthy, but you are cutting out on some food. Fasting, you are not eating. Both of them have health benefits. In fact, research has shown that a combination of both will give you a healthier lifestyle and can increase lifespan. Okay, so many research has been done on calorie restriction, okay, whereby animals or organisms were fed high carbohydrate diets. So this is, at this point, I'm going to tell you that high carbohydrate diets accelerates aging. I saw it in my own personal research too, under this high carbohydrate diets will accelerate aging. The organisms that I used for the research, they died quickly than those ones that I fed and reared in food supplemented with moringa and pineapple. I saw the results by my own self with my own eyes. So what I'm telling you is reality. You can search it. There are so many evidence, high carb diet. So we need to cut out on most of we Nigerians, you know, the way we eat. So we need to maximize both. We fast and we do calorie restriction as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful explanation, Dr. Olufemi. Our audience, I'm sure they are picking everything needed. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, especially on this point, because people tend to mistake dietary restriction and fasting. And thank you for mentioning that there are two indices involved: the amount of food in terms of not the quantity, the specificity of the food, and also the time involved. Some people can, for dietary restriction, you can go for a very long time. You can take it as this is your food plan for this year, while fasting is for a period of time. I know there are different types of fasting. The Christians, some people fast with water. The Muslims, they fast without water. And thank you for elaborating that. Combining both leads to excellent lifestyle. For someone who comes from a country and whose diet mainly most of the time is carbohydrates, by listening to you, and I'm sure our audience, by listening to you, we know that we should balance our diet more. And it's not just jollof rice in the morning, fried rice in the afternoon, pounded yam at night.
At night.
Which is a common diet for even it's not just in Nigeria, even Uganda. You have bread in the morning, pusho in the afternoon, rice at night.
Carbohydrates.
So I'm also learning, and that's what I keep telling people. Even people, when people think I'm a knowledge institution or whatsoever, I'm learning from our guest researchers, in as much as our audience they're learning. So please, let's balance our diets, and also let's try to combine dietary restriction, if you can. It's not compulsory, to improve your hemostasis. I know some people don't know what hemostasis is. Hemostasis is balancing your body system, how your body system works. And it's beautiful. When your body is balanced, you enjoy yourself. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Olufemi. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Olufemi. What characteristics actually makes moringa free from toxicological effects and safe for use and consumption? What makes moringa special as a plant that is so safe for us as humans?
Okay, yeah, moringa, it is a dense nutrient food, a nutrient-dense food. It has so many health benefits, and people have consumed it over the years. So it is safe for consumption. We have not really heard of any case whereby somebody has taken it and it killed somebody or something. So it is actually safe. Under normal circumstance, it is safe for consumption, okay? But just like every other good thing, there should be moderation in everything. Because looking at my study, let me take you back to my research, okay? Before I came up with the concentration of moringa that I used, I actually did a toxicological study, okay? So at higher concentrations, it killed my organisms, okay?
Wow.
So yeah, at higher concentration, they died. So I kept reducing it until I got a safe dose, and that was what I used for the experiment, right? Now, in real life scenario now, too much of consumption of moringa will become toxic. It will become harmful. okay? Especially the way people consume herbs in Nigeria. Despite the fact that they are beneficial, take Moringa for an example. If you take it too much, it could, too much of it. So we need to define what too much is, you know? Like the Yorubas will say, just because you are rich and you have money to buy salt, you don't put a big bowl of salt in your stew. So everything has to be in moderation. So what I know about Moringa is you take a little dose consistently for a long period of time, okay? But it has to be small. You know, you can do the powdery form, and then you can take a tea, you can put it in form, you can make tea out of it, and just make sure you are consuming it in lower dosages, like a teaspoon for an extended period of time, and you'll be safe like that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olufemi. Actually, too much of anything, even water, if you drink too much water, it's bad. It becomes poison.
Of course.
So there should be a gauge. If you're taking a capsule, it's written on it. If you're giving a capsule, it's written on the carton or how many tablets you take. Whatever you're taking, the doctor has told you, the pharmacist has told you the dosage you should take. And if you are, I don't encourage, even though it's widely used and it's so hard. In one of my discussions on this platform, we talked about how apps used by Africans, even health practitioners, go into apps. And I'm not saying apps is bad. As apps as a condiment is bad, because even the first world countries are now integrating apps into their prescription for patients in titrated doses. But what I'm saying is, whatever you are using, make sure you are using it the right way. Not because it's a useful condiment or it's a useful drink whatsoever, in whatever form. If you take too much of it, it affects your liver, because it's your liver metabolizing all this. And whatever affects your liver affects every other parts of your body. So health is wealth. Don't self-prescribe, don't abuse anything, water, don't abuse anything. And I'm glad we are discussing this on platforms like this, and I will keep emphasizing this so that you improve your health, because health is wealth and prevention is better than cure. So thanks so much for that, Dr. Olufemi. What recommendations do you have on ways to consume ananas sativa and moringa to get the best nutrients from them?
Oh, that is a fantastic one.
From the tree, or we should make them into soup, or we should roast them like corn. What way is the best?
The best. Let's start from pineapple, ananas sativa. It is best taken ripe. When it is ripe, fresh, and you can take it raw like that, because it's a fruit. It's best taken raw. In fact, you don't even need to juice it. No juicing, no cooking, no additives. Take it raw. That's the best way to maximize the nutrient, the effect of the nutrient. Because why? If you juice it, you're missing out on a whole lot of things. I remember my friend bromelain. You're missing out. You're sieving everything out. You're missing out on the vitamins, the minerals, and the bromelain. Okay, because the shaft has its own peculiar job that it is doing in balancing the gut, which will help you to absorb the nutrients. Yes, those fibers you are sieving off, you're missing out on a whole lot of things. Also, the juice alone has been shown to increase your risk of having dental caries when you take fruit juice more than eating the whole fruit. Okay, so that's about ananas sativa. For moringa, it's a vegetable. Okay.
Yes.
So moringa is loaded with minerals and vitamins. Okay, so research has shown that mild heating, it is best taken just like we take our vegetables. Okay, you can take it in. I'll talk about the other way you can do it. You can take it. It's a vegetable. You can shred it along with other veggies. The way we treat our veggies, we cook them lightly to enhance digestibility. Okay, because heating research has shown that mild heating of vegetables doesn't make you lose out, doesn't destroy the minerals and vitamins. You can still preserve them. It is only that you don't fry. The normal way that we steam vegetable, it's okay. You are preserving the nutrients. And also you can dry the leaves. That's the easiest one to do. You can dry the leaves and powder it and take it as tea in the mornings. Just a teaspoon in hot water, and then when it's done, you can just take it in form of tea, and that hot water is enough to soften it and make it easy for absorption when you drink it. So those are the best way to take them, such that you maximize the nutritional benefits from them.
Thank you so much for highlighting that. Actually, I've seen moringa salad, and I'm not sure if I've eaten it. I'm not sure, but I remember moringa salad. Like they made it in a local way with like kuli. Those who know kuli is granite powder. So they mix granite powder with moringa salad. Moringa. After steaming it for a bit. Yes, and thank you for highlighting that, steaming a bit, not frying, because I know many people when they're in the kitchen, the smoke is flying in the air, the oil is flying in the air, not frying of moringa, not frying it also in the soap form, steaming it for a bit. That's how you get the best benefits from it. Thank you so much for highlighting that. And for some people who what are they calling it? Who juice everything. Who have that is actually there was I don't know if the pandemic is still happening in Nigeria. There was a blender pandemic in Nigeria. People blend anything. The only thing I know they've not blended are living organisms, maybe rats and human beings. They blend everything. They blend yam, they blend bread, they blend biscuits, they blend everything. So please just eat your pineapple the way it is, fresh, and enjoy your pineapple. So lastly, Dr. Olufemi, anti-aging industry, actually it's a big industry, a money making. I feel if anyone is making any product on anti-aging, they're in money already, because people don't want to get old, even though growing aging is a natural process.
Yeah.
Dr. Olufemi, what contributions do you see ananas sativa and moringa oleifera on the anti-aging industry in the next decade?
Yeah. The way the anti-aging industry is going now, it's $1 million industry, because a lot of people are investing into it because people want to age gracefully. That was the reason that I picked the topic, anti-aging effect of this locally available material, so that we can check if they have anti-aging properties. We can move a step further. My intention of going into this research actually was to develop a new anti-aging supplement from locally available sources of plant from our own plants. I told you about resveratrol. Resveratrol is now booming abroad. Okay, so if we can make a deeper dive and still go ahead, because that's my goal. Okay, not just leave it at, okay, it has this activity. I've been able to identify the fraction doing the work. I went deeper to get this is the portion of moringa that is actually doing the anti-aging this thing. So we should take it further from there, develop it into anti-aging supplements. People are doing the capsules. I don't know if you've seen it. We can do more, okay? And then we have a larger prospect of going into scaling it up and making it as a source of income for Nigeria, because we also have, even for Africa, because it's well abundant here, but we don't look into that area. And apart from even the economic aspect of it, we should consume it, because our life expectancy in Nigeria, we should try to improve on it through our diet, and so that we can also age gracefully and live longer like the Japanese. There's no harm in getting older and still being able to do all the youthful things, in as much as we are intentional about it. So it has a lot of potential as far as the anti-aging industry is concerned. Moringa and pineapple, they are potential candidates for anti-aging supplements, drugs.
Thank you so much. Dr. Olufemi, for sharing your time, your expertise with us. Global citizens, we looked at Dr. Olufemi's paper during the week. Please go through her paper, get more information. I tried breaking the paper to the best of my ability through this discussion. If you want more information on Moringa oleifera and also ananas sativa, which is pineapple. Please go to a paper. And Dr. Olufemi, as you were talking about pineapple and also Moringa, I thought of steaming Moringa and also cutting pineapple, making Moringa salad with also pineapple. You can be innovative that way as long as you are eating it the right way. And also, let's try to, inside our body, we might not know what's happening in our body and ways to like alter it to be more positive, but let's try as much as possible to avoid external factors. Remember what I said about exogenous, outside, external factors that might affect us and affect how we look, because aging starts from the skin to inside your body, from outside to inside, and what happens in the endogenous happens from inside to outside. What's happening in your body, what shows outside your body. So let's try as much as possible to take in good things, to monitor our vitals, to know what's happening in our body, to do regular blood tests if we can afford it, and also to stay in environments that help us as human beings, because that's all is all these factors all combine and affect our aging process. We cannot all live in Japan. We cannot all be Japanese, but I believe we can actively have a hand in what affects us and how we react to it from our internal environment, also external environments. Thank you once again, global citizens, for joining us on this episode. I believe you've gotten a lot of knowledge on pineapple. So you don't, when next time you see pineapple, you don't look at it as just any fruit anymore. And also Moringa. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a blessed week, everyone.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.